Howard Scott Warshaw was the game designer for Atari. Warshaw made two popular games for the Atari 2600, Yard's Revenge and Raiders of the Lost Ark. In June of 1982, director Steven Spielberg's new movie, E.T. the Extra Terrestrial, was released in the United States. E.T. was a box office hit. Atari told Warshaw to make a game based off the movie, but it had to be done in 5 weeks. After months of the game's release, it was a failure. This caused the North American video game crash of 1983. This caused Atari to go from 10,000 workers to 2,000 workers. In Japan, the video game company Nintendo, who made arcade classics like Donkey Kong Jr., and Mario Bros., released their first home console called the Family Computer, also known as the Famicom. The Famicom was a massive success. The Famicom was brought to North America as the Nintendo Entertainment System, or the NES, in 1985. One of the launch titles for the console was Super Mario Bros., which was a great success. It is now the 8th best-selling video game, selling over 47 million units. It was a no-brainer that Nintendo will make a sequel. When Mario Bros. 2 came out in North America, it was different than the first Mario game. You weren't stopping on enemies, however, you throw vegetables at the enemies. The evil villain Bowser was replaced with a frog named Wart. When Super Mario Bros. 3 came out, it was back to normal and similar to the first Mario game. Why was Mario 2 different? Gamers wouldn't find out the real reason for years later. This is the story of Super Mario Bros. 2. In 1986, the Famicom Disk System was released as an add-on for the Famicom. Super Mario Bros. 2 was released for the Famicom Disk System. It was also a massive success. In 1986, Howard Phillips, who was in charge to play games to see if it's good for the North American audience, got a box containing games. One of those games was Super Mario Bros. 2. Howard Phillips proceeded to play Super Mario Bros. 2 without any warning from anyone. However, Phillips was instantly killed by poison mushroom. As I continued to play, I found that Super Mario Bros. 2 asked me again and again to take a leap of faith, and that each of those leaps resulted in my immediate death. This was not a fun game to play. It was punishment. Undeserved punishment. I put down my controller, astonished Mr. Miyamoto had chosen to design such a painful game. Howard Phillips. In 1987, Nintendo and Fuji Television partnered for their summer festival, the Dream Factory. Nintendo made a game for the event. The game was called Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic, and was directed by Kensuke Tanabe and supervised by Shigeru Miyamoto, the inventor of Mario. The game was in production. Miyamoto suggested the game to be Mario-like. At one point, Miyamoto thought the game was too similar to Mario with all the Mario references. On July 10th, 1987, the game was released for the Famicom Disk System. There are 4 characters who are the Dream Factory family. The game was a success. They wanted to bring the game to North America. Fuji Television owned the characters, but Nintendo owned everything else, so they can change the Dream Factory family with Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad. Nintendo of America were requesting for a new Super Mario Bros. 2. Nintendo of Japan saw Doki Doki Panic as a sequel to Mario. Nintendo of America thought that would be a great idea. Production began working on changing Doki Doki Panic to Super Mario Bros. 2. In 1988, Howard Phillips got a package with Doki Doki Panic. He loved the game. Nintendo was beginning to launch a gaming magazine known as Nintendo Power, which sadly, as of 2012, no longer exists. However, it's now a podcast on the Nintendo YouTube channel. Gail Tilden, who was in charge of Nintendo Power, thought it would be a good idea to put Super Mario Bros. 2 on the cover of issue 1. Will Winton Studios, who made the California Raisins Claymations, made the cover, which will be clay figures of Mario and Wart. Nintendo Power Issue 1 was released in July of 1988, and over 600,000 gamers got the issue. People would discover a sequel to Mario will be coming out. Super Mario Bros. 2 was released on October of 1988. The game was a success. Even ABC 2020 made a segment on the game being sold out in stores. In 1990, Nintendo released the Super Famicom in Japan, and in 1991, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, also known as the SNES. In 1993, Super Mario All-Stars was released for the SNES. It was a compilation with 4 Mario games. It contained Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, 3, and yeah. It also contained the Japanese version of Super Mario Bros. 2, known as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. The game that North American and European gamers never saw. Super Mario Bros. 2 was the 3rd best-selling NES game. Super Mario Bros. 2 was so successful, in 1992, it was re-released in Japan as Super Mario USA. This was the story of Super Mario Bros. 2.